The Las Vegas Raiders just made a great front office hire. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Reporting. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you who the silver and black stole from the Seattle Seahawks, and this is going to be one of those videos that I think when people click into, they don't realize what exactly I'm going to be talking about. Very important to watch this entire video, because if you enjoyed what I did on Jed Hughes, you're going to love this video as well. Because I know a lot of people are probably going to go, who is Matt Capurro? I'm not going to lie, I see a name like that, and the very first thing that goes off in my mind is, all right, well, why is that important? Why did the Raiders just hire him? And then let's do a little bit of digging. And at the very end of this show, I'm going to tell you a great story that everybody is going to love, and you are going to get done watching this show, and you're going to say, Matt Capurro was a great, great hire by the Las Vegas Raiders. So the news just came out, according to Albert Breer, Seahawks VP of Coaching Operations, Matt Capurro, is leaving the team after 15 years to reunite with Pete Carroll and rejoin the Raiders. He was with Pete Carroll at USC in 2009 and in Seattle from 2010 to 2023. So Pete Carroll, Matt Capurro, they go way, way back. Here's where it gets cool. And he also worked with Al Davis in Oakland from 2004 to 2008. He was a valuable right-hand man to the head coach. We've been sitting here for a while, and there's been a lot of people, myself included. I called hiring Pete Carroll as one of the riskiest decisions the Raiders can make, because you also got to be able to plan for the long term. This is somebody who's been Carroll's right-hand man in Seattle, at USC, and even has ties all the way back to Al Davis. I'm not going to lie, hearing all that stuff is very, very important, but it also shows, again, that this team is trying to build stability and that they are trying to build this thing from the ground up, and they are doing it the right way. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on those notifications. I'm also going to get into what the Seahawks have to say about Capurro to give you a little bit more background information, and I'm telling you, you got to see the story at the end. It's going to absolutely blow your mind. But if you're a Raiders fan just like me, no matter the small hire, no matter the big hire, if that light bulb goes off in your mind and you're like, who is Matt Capurro? I'm just like all y'all, which is exactly why I'm going to make this video, and because I know you're not going to get a lot of attention around the name Matt Capurro from NFL media, but that's why you subscribe to the Raiders Report. No big, no small, we cover it here on the show. So according to Seahawks.com, Matt Capurro enters his 21st NFL season and 15th season with the Seahawks. This write-up is obviously written right before the season starts. Third is Vice President of Coaching Operations. Capurro works directly with head coach Mike Macdonald and is responsible for coordinating the team's day-to-day operations, including overseeing player and staff communications and managing the year-round football schedule, which includes the offseason program, OTA days, mini camps, and training camp. The reason why I love this is because you got to think of the top, right? Pete Carroll, John Spytek talks about guys that love football. Loving football is important, but also managing your schedule properly is what all successful people do. I don't care what type of job you have, whether you're a YouTube host, whether you're a banker, whether you're running your own business, whether you're trying to help out a Seahawks or Raiders football team. If you don't figure out a schedule that works for you, and if you don't put yourself on a regimen that works best for you, you're going to struggle. And I think when you think of somebody like a Max Crosby, he has his regimen down to the absolute T, and it's one of the reasons why I think he's one of the best players in the National Football League. So when you bring in Capurro, you're trying to establish that we are all on the same page type of mentality. And if it worked at USC, if it worked back at Seattle, they're trying to recreate that and bring it over here to the Raiders. So this goes back to, again, though, like what Jed Hughes had to say. And this is a quote that I just really want people to look at, because the Raiders brought in Hughes to essentially recreate their entire regime where, yeah, it's important for players on the field. Front office needs to think the same. Whether you are the president of football operations or the janitor, you all have to be on the same page. And Jed Hughes' quote that I just read all the time because I love, most organizations are not built on developing people within their organizations. They are built to try to win immediately. And that's what the Raiders have tried to do. So when you look at this Matt Capurro hire, somebody that's been with Pete Carroll at USC, was with Al Davis back at Oakland, was with Pete Carroll from 2010 to 2023. That's somebody that Pete probably thought, you know what, this was one of those dudes that really helped us out. Dot some I's, cross some T's. Not going to create headlines, but could be one of the really important guys of why their teams always seem to play very well, and they always seem to perform at a very high level. So to me, low, interesting move, but I think it's a great hire. And when you just hear everything that Capurro has done in the past with that Pete Carroll connection, it's a great hire. The story I'm about to tell you, though, you're going to be all in on Matt Capurro. Before I get into that, though, in just a moment, today's show is presented by Game Time, which is all about bringing people together in 2025. Personally, and I mean this, it's the perfect app if you're planning on going to Vegas. If you're planning on taking a weekend trip and you don't know what to do with whatever city, go on the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports. You're going to be able to save $20 on your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem code ChatSports for $20 off. I always say that when you go to an event, whether it's a sporting event, whether it's a comedy event, whether it's a theater event, you're going to hold on to those memories forever. And yeah, you're going to spend money with Game Time. Now, again, they got the Game Time picks. They have all-in pricing, so that way you're not getting hit with crazy checkout fees. But you also know that you're going to get a great deal. I know spending money sometimes stinks, but having the memories for a lifetime is why I love using Game Time. So whether you're trying to go maybe to the big game, maybe you're trying to go to a Raiders game next season, maybe you got something going on and you wait till the last minute. If you wait till the last minute, Game Time is perfect for you. So those links are for you down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. If you're wondering what time is it, it's Game Time. All right, so I'm going to share a story, and I found an article from the San Francisco Examiner, okay? And this is an article all the way back in 2009. When I hear a name that I don't recognize, like Matt Capurro, I'm going to dig. I'm going to do my homework. As long as it's not Scarface or The Sopranos, I'm probably going to be pretty good at it. So here's an article that I'm going to read you, and I just want you to listen to it because, again, the Pete Carroll connection makes sense. The operations of how he's going to be able to help the team, OTAs, and just making sure that everyone's on the same schedule, same plan, that's all great. Here's, though, where I kind of fell in love with it. The 28-year-old Capurro has been involved with football operations since the age of 17. Again, this article was made in 2009, so he's 28 in 2009. I don't know how old he is now. Y'all can do the math. While adorned in the attire of his beloved silver and black at a family reunion, Capurro caught the eye of a cousin, attorney Joseph Alito Jr., whose client was the Raiders. So that in this article is telling you he is a Raiders fan. Grew up rocking silver and black at a family reunion. That's freaking dope, man. So he grows up a Raiders fan. So then Alito, who's that attorney, arranged a meeting with the Raiders management for the young Capurro, who was at the time a St. Vincent High School football letterman in Petaluma, P-E-T-A-L or L-U-M-A. Sorry, I'm not from Cali, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Letterman jacket high school, meeting with the Raiders, kind of crazy. Capurro went on to work each summer for the next 5 years as a minimally paid Raiders intern, enthusiastically handling any unglamorous task that was asked of him. So, I mean, that's just showing you right from the jump that he was like, man, I don't care what it takes. I just want to get my foot in the door. I want to work. Like, I know I always get trolled for this, but I was a New York Jets intern. I was shooting T-shirts off. I was working in the Lexus Club. I was doing a lot of crazy stuff because at the end of the day in college, I wanted to figure out a way to work in the NFL, and I was willing to do everything and anything that it took in order to do it. Sounds like Matt Capurro's kind of got that exact same mindset. After graduating in 2003 from USF with a degree in marketing, Capurro secured a full-time spot with the Raiders as a coach's assistant. After only a year on the job, assigned to assisting Raiders owner Al Davis, Capurro was offered the director of football operations position at the tender age of 23. He remained with the Raiders in that capacity for the next 5 years, and he had this to say. This is a quote from Capurro. Mr. Davis is such a historical figure. His passion for the game and for winning is something that I will never forget. When you bring in somebody like this and that has this type of mentality, and again, you go back to what Jed Hughes said where, like GMs, head coaches, they're not born, they're made. Capurro seems like one of these guys that is made into a really good football mind, very well respected in NFL circles, but literally worked from what it sounds like the ground up as an unpaid intern for 5 years, and now he's a big-time guy in the NFL. He's going to have a really important position with Pete Carroll, essentially being Carroll's right-hand man. These are the type of hirings that aren't going to get a lot of attention, but after hearing everything that you just did on that video, you got to be sitting back there going again, The Raiders are acting like a smart organization. And that's what they've been doing all offseason. They've been acting like a smart organization, and it's a nice change of pace. I'm not going to lie. If you made it this far in the video and you appreciated this one, I know it's a little bit shorter. I know it's a little bit different from what I typically do. But click that like button. I like making shows like this because I want people to know at the end of the day, I'm a Raiders fan just like all of y'all, and I make a lot of videos that if I think, who the hell's that guy? Or, wow, that's kind of interesting. I imagine a lot of other Raiders fans are thinking the exact same thing. But when I get something that gets me excited, I want to be able to express it, and I want to be able to share it with you. This looks like a really good hire. Matt Capurro was with the Seahawks. He's now with the Raiders. Worked with Al Davis, worked with Pete at USC, worked with Pete for many years with the Seahawks. Seems like a hard worker, seems like a grinder. And when you bring people in that are going to be that dedicated to their craft, it is only going to pay off dividends down the road. Another great hire here by the Las Vegas Raiders. For even more content around the silver and black, I promise you I got you covered. Click the subscribe button right here. If you want even more videos that Jeremy Chuggs and I cooked up, you can click on this button right here. We got you covered. And then if you're looking for even more content on top of that, these are the videos that my dog Chuck likes to watch. So more videos, make sure you subscribe here to the Raiders Report.